Alrighty, welcome back to Beyond Recovery. Today, my guest is recently 2 years sober, John. And it's pretty cool that we were messaging beforehand, John, and we figured out that you we're very close as far as like distance wise, not as we speak right now, but when you live just down the way, like we were kind of comparing notes, and you're like, did you know I'm down in Leduc, which is basically a suburb of Edmonton, Canada,
Yeah.
up here. So that's pretty cool. So welcome to the show, man. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. I really glad and appreciative that you can come on the show, share your story. And, I really wanted to capture it because you and I had been kind of, chatting a little bit on Instagram, I want to say a couple of weeks ago even. And then I noticed that it was like right in around coming off your 2 year sober birthday. So dude, congrats. Yeah. March 29th, 2020. I'd say that's an interesting time. Let's actually start with that, because that's like literally a couple of weeks into, that the pandemic, as it was, when we had no idea how long this thing was going to go for. I mean, we're still coming out of it right now. My wife just got COVID, a couple of days ago, this kind of thing. Right. So what was it like? And what was, I guess we'll reverse engineer the story a little bit. What was it like in that, in March of 2020 that kind of set you up for this, the sobriety stint you're currently on?
Well, it all started really like we were all off work, government's giving you money, right?
Yeah.
I didn't take any of it, let's be real. But we were all off work and we weren't working and we were just drinking, right?
Right, sure.
And as in like me, I was just drinking.
Yeah.
And it just got like the first 2 weeks was like, whew, it was crazy. Like I was going to the liquor store and I was picking up a 40 ouncer every day.
Whoa. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was drinking that all day, every day, all night. And yeah, so it just got to the point where it's just like, yeah, okay, well, either I do it or I don't. Like what a better time than now to quit and exercise, and you don't have to worry about stress at work or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, gotcha. No, I definitely, I wanted to lead with that because, and by the way, sweet hoodie. That's super cool. Where did you get that made, by the way? That's
Sober Motivation.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna write this down.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah, so let's, now that it was just too intriguing to me, the date. I knew there was going to be some kind of a pandemic-y story in there, so I wanted to start with that. We'll work our way back up to that, but let's go back in time to, I always like to start like, where was the original relationship with alcohol? And I know that drugs is part of your story as well. So, but specifically, it's I guess whatever came first, right? What happened with that as far as your story, your origin, like as far as when did it come into your life? Was it family? Fill the listeners in with the origins of your alcohol and drug use.
Yeah. So my dad is an alcoholic. He's passed away. He had cirrhosis of the liver. He died of cancer 8 years ago, I do believe, cirrhosis. But yeah, he was an alcoholic. I was raised by an alcoholic. My mom is a great human being, not an alcoholic by all means. But yeah, so I was raised with an alcoholic father. You know what I mean? Like not abusive or anything like that. Like he would drink every day, all day, like all night, whatever, work all day, drink all night, pass out in his chair, and never was an abusive relationship by all means. But yeah, so that's how really it all began. It was like I would start drinking. We would go camping or, and the boys and I would start drinking and we'd drink. And obviously the boys were a little bit different than I was because they quit drinking after the trip and I continued drinking after the camping trip. So more or less it was like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. And then we'd go back to high school, right? public school, I guess. It would have been grade 8. But my first drink was when I was 12. The old man gave me a beer and we drank it. So together.
How do you, what was your reaction to beer? Did you have like the bitter beer face, or was it just like,
Yeah,
oh, you know what?
it
I
was
got
gross.
this. Yeah. Right.
It was gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Could have been
gross.
acquired
Yeah,
taste, right? Yeah, for sure. For
it
sure.
was gross.
Yeah.
But
No,
that was the first beer. Then the second beer was great.
after
Right?
that, it's yeah, exactly. And so you grew up in Ontario, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In
So how much
Muskoka.
Muskoka? Okay, so I'm not super familiar with that area. Is that how much of your environment sort of factored in? Was it a smaller community where it was like, you know, which is often hand in hand with, oh, there's nothing here to, you know, nothing else to
Yeah,
do to, but then
definitely.
drink, you know? Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I grew up in a town called Gravenhurst. It had a population of 5,000 people. In the winter time, and in the summertime, it had a population of probably close to 750,000 because it's cottage country, right?
Wow.
So party all summer long with
Yeah,
the
sure.
cottagers and everything like that. So it was like party town, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was where I grew up, and you know how I grew up. It was in my blood to drink. So I did drink when I was younger, and I just continued drinking. Yeah.
So when you're getting into high school there, and you know, even into your early 20s, was there any specific incidences where you're kind of like, what was your inner dialogue like? Was there any specific times or just like a vibe that you would get where you're like, you know, this is kind of starting to turn on me a bit here? Or was it just, you know, like you say, party time until whenever? Yeah, there was no
It
real
was party time until 2 years ago, pretty well.
Is that right? Okay, interesting. Yeah. And that's pretty crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I continued right through. Like I just kept on doing it, and it was just go time. And then I guess I got hurt. I was a hockey player as well. So I got hurt. I hurt my back. Doctor put me on Percocets.
Oh, yes.
And those were amazing. Let me tell you.
Sure. Yeah.
Those were my favorite.
Right.
But then that was when I was 18. And then when I was 26, he cut me off cold turkey.
Oof. So that's about 8 years in of using Percocets. And then isn't that dangerous? Would that not be dangerous? I mean, I guess he knows what he's doing as a doctor, but how did that go for you?
Went pretty good.
Yeah.
I went to the streets and got them.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I just bought them from the street.
Yeah.
That. And so I was actually getting 4,000 Percocets a week. I would drive 4 hours south and buy 4,000 Percocets once a week.
Wow. Yeah. And so how was that comparative to like what you'd be prescribed, for example?
Prescribed. I was only prescribed 30 or 60 every month. So 2 a day.
2 a day. And now you're getting up to, so what would you, if you're having 4,000, if you're buying 4,000 off the street, how many would you end up doing on the course of a day, of an average day at that point?
At that point, I wasn't sleeping. I was just doing them stop, and I was drinking at the same time. So I wouldn't sleep. I would just sit there and I would just like nod off and I would think that I slept like fucking 5 hours, you know what I mean?
But it could have been 5 minutes.
Yeah, man, I'm feeling good. And then I go
or,
you know.
Yeah, so, totally.
Yeah.
how did you heal up? Like, as far as if you were fairly commonly on a substance and that was very numbing and so forth, how did your back and everything end up healing up? Like, how are you to this day with it, with your?
Never healed.
Okay. Yeah.
Never healed. So now that I exercise, though, I guess really I should tell a little more about this. So I got off of the Percocets cold turkey. Took me
Wow.
2 weeks. Took me 2 weeks of locked in my own room, in my bedroom, with my guns. And I did put the gun in my mouth, and it was loaded, but I had kids at the time, so I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But I did do it. I got off it. It's been 9 years this year,
Man,
that I've been
congrats.
clean.
9 years.
So,
good for you, dude.
yeah.
Coming up on a decade. So
Yeah. And that's cold turkey too. Like, I didn't do any of the drink or whatever it's called. I don't know what they call it, but
yeah. Okay.
the methadone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. So you didn't have any of that. You're locking yourself in a room, 2 weeks of cold turkey. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Is that your tremors? Like, you got the full on, like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Body aching, and you actually, like, you just, I don't recommend it for anybody, but I didn't want to do the drink, man. I didn't want that. I didn't want people to know. I wanted it to be a secret. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to have to go to the clinic and get my methadone every day.
Okay. Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Because living in a small town, as secretive as it's supposed to be,
Yeah.
everybody knows, man.
Yeah. Sure.
So I was like, I don't want anybody to know, but everybody already knew. You know what I mean? Like,
still,
I was
it's like,
hitting myself.
yeah. But it's
So,
still, it's how you feel, right? If you're going in there
Yeah.
daily, and it's just like, it accumulates on you as well. It's like a double whammy, right? Not only are you having to go do it, it's like now you have this like perception that everybody's knowing about your business too, I would imagine, right? So
yeah.
man, so that led you to moving out west, out to the Edmonton area at that point. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. So you cleaned up, and that was, I think it was 2013 you said you moved out to Edmonton. So okay. So yeah, that was pretty much right hand in hand with cleaning up. What was the reasoning for moving to that point? Like, you just needed to get out of your environment? Like, what? Yeah. Okay.
I had to get away from the people that I was hanging out with, like everybody that I knew, that I hung out with and that partied with me, we all did the same shit, and it was just like, I gotta go, man. So I spent the first 2 years in Cold Lake.
Yep.
Up north.
Yeah.
And my family stayed in Ontario for the first year. Well, I was here by myself, just working and getting established again. And then they moved out. It was either I move back or they move out with me, because it was just to the point where it was like, okay, well, this is a little bit much.
Sure.
Without seeing each other now, it was either we split up, or you move out here, or I move back home. And splitting wasn't an option at that time.
And nor was moving back home. I wouldn't assume either, right? As
that wasn't an option for me.
Right.
And,
yeah.
And my wife was more than willing to move out here too, right? Because she's got her demons as well back home, right? Like,
okay. Yeah.
There's skeletons in the closet still.
So do you guys still have a lot of family that's back in Ontario there, or did anybody else come out with you?
No,
everybody.
All of our family is there.
I'm curious, how does that look for you guys for like family events? Do you, like, at Christmases, whatever it may be, Thanksgivings, like, do you still go home, and how triggering is that? Like, what does that look like for you these days? For you, both of you guys, your family? No,
we don't go home.
Okay.
We enjoy the time. Like, so when we were home, we would have to drive to the in-laws, to my parents' place, to my brother's place, to my other brother's place, and I got kids, and they were small at the time. I actually only had 2 kids at the time. So,
okay.
But now we got 3, and it was just like, yeah, it was a big deal to pack the kids and drive all around.
Yeah.
You know, and it was always my wife driving. Like I would drive there, but I wouldn't be driving home. I can promise you that.
Sure. Yeah.
But
So,
yeah, we just enjoy the time now. We really enjoy the downtime. You know, like we'll cook a turkey and we'll have like sandwiches for a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. That's why you only have turkey once a year, though, is because it's got like 28 meals that comes out of it. So
yeah.
So 3 kids. How old are your kids now?
I have one 18-year-old,
Wow.
13-year-old, and one 11-year-old, and they're all girls.
Oh my goodness. Look at this guy, eh? So how has that been? Because you always hear the teenage girls thing. So you got 18. So she's already, potentially out of the, the hellish teenager girlfriend. No, you're like, no. So, okay. And now you got a couple more on the way that's going to be going through all those stages again. Interesting. Yeah. So how has that been looking for you, especially now over the last couple of years? How has that changed for you?
Oh man, it's amazing now.
Is it?
Really.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, like my patience level is like up here. Before, if they said something, I would lose it instantly.
Really?
I was prick. I was
interesting.
A prick. Like all my kids called me a dick.
Really?
Like my middle child didn't talk to me for over a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was another big reason for the sobriety as well, right? Like I needed to make amends with her.
Yeah.
And I needed to make amends with all of them, like it was to the point where, like I wasn't violent, but I was rude.
Sure. Yeah.
Like I was rude to the point where if it was a boy, it would be okay.
But okay. I got you.
And it's not okay to talk to girls like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah.
So that was important for you too. As obviously a big motivator for you. How has been your relationship with your wife? Sounds like you guys have been together for quite some time now, eh?
Yeah, we've been together for 17 years.
Nice.
We've been married for 15 years.
Wow. Congrats, guys. Yeah. Like that doesn't happen too often anymore. It seems like it's 5 or 7 years, and then people start getting divorced. But so kind of parallel with Darcy and I have been together about 16 years. So yeah, good for you guys, especially with everything, all the turbulence that you have had in the past and all that. So how does your guys' relationship feel now? Like, and I imagine your wife is also not only supportive of you, as she also running parallel as far as cleaning up her act if she needed to. I'm assuming at that point.
So my wife is my angel. Like anybody that can stick by a guy like this, and still be with me after everything that I put her and our children through, she's my angel. She is just amazing. But yeah, our relationship before was, when I was active, it was okay, but it wasn't the greatest. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing like it is now. Like we are best friends now. You know what I mean? It's pretty amazing, but really, we still have to get to know each other again, like really.
Yeah.
Because I'm a total different human being than I was when we met. And when, I'm not the same guy that she fell in love with. I'm not the same guy that she married.
Sure.
Right? Like, I'm completely different than I used to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of falling in love again.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And so my wife is a normie, as we call them. She's a normie, so she can have a drink.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't do drugs. She can have a drink and be like, okay, that's good. I'm good. Thanks. thanks for the drink. We got to go.
Gotcha.
You know, where myself, I'd be like, yeah, we're not leaving yet. There's still a full bottle. Kidding me?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah.
So
she's been like that since I've ever met her.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it was always like a good like yin yang almost, right? Like she was the more, yeah, exactly like you said, normie, be able to do that. And dude, that's so awesome. I love the insight. Like you're saying, it's like falling in love again. And you know, it's such a cool take on it. It really feels like, I mean, just from talking to you, like you truly have transformed and changed your life. And I picked up on that even, and I'm going to follow up on the question that we talked about when we were messaging after the webinar there. And you're saying, you know what? Cause I asked is like, what if there's like the yes, but question. And what I mean is like, okay, so my life is good, but yes, my life is good, but, and you're like, I don't really have an answer for that. Like, I love my life the way it is. And you've had a couple of days to think about it. Is there anything that you would change, or are you, cause you generally,
so like
yeah,
literally, man, I wouldn't change a damn thing about my life. The only thing, but there is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to work at home. Ooh. So that I'm not away from home for as much as I am.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly. So,
but at the same time, you know, if I was at home all the time, I don't think that I would have the relationship with my family that I do when I'm home.
Okay. You know? That makes sense. That makes sense. How long are you on the road for? Like you're down in Montana right now. Is it, what is it? 3 weeks on, 1 week off? What does that look like for you?
No, it's supposed to be 28 days on.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, geez. Yeah.
It's never that. So the last time I went home was the 13th of February.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But my wife came here, right, in March.
Oh, okay.
So
breaks it up a bit.
In April. Sorry. So I came out. I came back here, worked for a month. Then she came out for a week, April 15th. And then she came out for a week then with the kids. Right. And then I'm going to go home again in May. But usually it's about 2 or 3 months. And then I go home for like, it's supposed to be a week or 10 days.
Yeah.
But they always call me and they're like, yo, I need you to come back. Like, can you come back early? And I'm like, yeah, but okay, I'll come back early because they pay me so well out here.
Okay.
Like, yeah. It's almost not worth working. Like I do love what I do. Like
that's huge.
Generally love what I do.
And so you're is it a carpenter? Like you work on houses, correct? Or construction, right?
Yeah, I'm a carpenter. Yeah.
Awesome, man. How long have you been doing that is that your career? Like since the early 20s kind of thing? Like since your early 20s?
Since I was 11 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. I've always had a fascination. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Your dad.
My dad raised me as a carpenter, as a tradesman.
Wow. So that early on. 2
brothers as well.
Oh, crazy. So brothers, older brothers, are you like, where are you in the that brother hierarchy?
I'm in the middle.
You're the middle brother. Okay, cool.
Middle child. My older brother is only 2 minutes older than me.
Oh, so, look at this guy. Yeah, he just had to beat you. I'm sure he rubs that in as much as he can as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. But my younger brother is a year and 9 months younger.
Okay.
So we're all like, right.
Good.
Like we're all hanging with the same people, you know, same crew, whatever, right? Growing up.
Are they still out in Ontario, or have they kind of scattered a bit? Yeah, are they?
Nope,
okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Oh yeah, that's what you're saying. You're driving around and seeing them. Yeah. Okay. So your dad, it almost seems like you were, especially if your dad is a tradesman and has this like drinking culture and you're raised in that, it's just like, and then you get into the actual job itself, you know, as far as you know, it's like, you know, peas in a pod, the whole drinking culture, like you say, work all day, play at night kind of thing, right? So that probably had a fairly profound impact on you from an early age then, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I could see that. I could see that. And of course, we want to mention the like the Work Hard Apparel. Cool story there. So let's say, yeah, shout out to them. And I noticed that was a big, you definitely support them on your Instagram feed. Highly recommend that everybody follows you on Instagram. We'll get into that a little bit later, but let's focus. Yeah, Work Hard Apparel. What can you say about the story as to why you started supporting them? Super cool story. And what can you tell about the brand itself?
So the brand itself is all good vibes. It's just work hard, play hard. It's not really about alcohol or partying. It's like, so if, yeah, he does post some drinking and stuff too, but it's still good vibes, right? But so it's like you work hard all week and you play hard all weekend. So like really he posts a lot of stuff of like sand dunes, running their dune buggies, and you know what I mean, like kind of stuff like that all weekend, skydiving and playing hard.
Yeah.
Fun, like
rad.
So I started with this brand, and I reached out to all the different apparels on Instagram, really, that I was digging at the time, you know what I mean? And so I reached out to all of them, and I was like, yo, how's it going, guys? And I got good vibes from other ones, but I just didn't really like their apparel as well. So when Eddie reached out to me at Work Hard Apparel, man, the vibe that I got off of him from like one DM message was so good that I was like, okay, I'm going to spend all my drinking money, all my beer money on the Work Hard Apparel. And that's what I went on. And that's what my goal was, is to find one apparel shop to go and spend my beer money on. Small business that I could help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes me feel good to help somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what? He throws it right back at me too, because he knows that I'm helping him and he's coming back at me and he's helping me. And he may not even realize how much he really helps me, but by him being so positive and having such great vibes, it helps me every day, and it's so wicked.
That's awesome.
And now we talk every day. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like
okay.
We get it every day.
Man.
So it's pretty cool.
That's really cool, man. That's such a cool story. And like, just to be able to like materialize a relationship with and just the reasons behind it, there's like nothing but good energy there, right? It's like, it's all this like, otherwise misplaced energy that you had from these bad patterns that you had, that you've identified and changed. And now you're putting that energy directly, converting it into something that's grown into a very worthwhile relationship and helping a small business to boot too. Have you met him in person?
Not yet, but we are gonna hook up. Yeah, for sure. Either I'm going to Cali or he's gonna come down to Alberta.
Rad.
Yeah, with him and his wife. His daughter is actually just heading into the Air Force, I do believe.
Oh, no way. Crazy.
Yeah, that's military.
Wow.
So but yeah, he's either gonna come down or we're gonna go and visit him, because it's like we're family now.
Yeah,
it's
that's
pretty
cool.
Cool, man.
Very cool. Cool. Might I make a suggestion? You should go visit him, because then you can use his like dune buggies and stuff, right? That sounds I mean, come on. Yeah. That sounds rad. Yeah, totally. That's really cool. You know what? And then other than that, I just wanted to do a shout out to your Instagram. You know what? One thing that really struck me is like, super cool pictures, like you're a photogenic guy with this like totally sick beard that you have, which is amazing. But one thing that really resonated with me is you have it right in your bio. You welcome anybody to go, hey, if there's, because let's face it, Instagram and like, was some people that like, even me, like I was a little reluctant to get on Instagram because of the highlight reel thing. And everybody's like forwarding with like, okay, positive things that are happening to them, all that. But the fact that you're acknowledging and welcoming the other side of things, you're putting your money where your mouth is. Essentially, you're not just going, hey, I'm sober and all that. You're going, hey, I'm sober. If you're having a rough time, reach out to me. You're literally inviting people to do that, dude. And that's so cool.
Yeah.
It was so refreshing to see. So, you know, thanks for doing that. And how many people have taken you up on that? Or is it still just sort of, you know, in the, like, how long have you had that post up there for, as far as in your bio? And yeah, what about your Instagram?
I get probably 50, 60 DMs a day.
Really?
And I answer every single one of them.
Dude, that's awesome.
Every single one of them.
That's fucking cool.
Sometimes, you know, it turns into a conversation, and I'm totally down, man. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Here, someone helped me, you know what I mean? And want to help you, but by me helping you, you're helping me.
100% agree.
So,
yeah. That's so cool. Yeah. And that's like
people don't understand that, you know what I mean? People don't know that. People don't see that, but it makes me feel great to help you, but also by helping you, you're helping me.
Yeah. It's that reciprocation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well put. And that's why, like, getting into this work, and it's not going to be work. Like, that's the thing. It takes the whole, like, work side of it out. I just want to get in the arena and be able to help people, because for that exact reason, just even have a conversation about this, being like super open about, you know, your life and everything, is like, there's some kind of therapeutic experience. You and me listening to you and us sharing this time is like, it just, I don't know, man, it just drops you into that, like, authentic kind of feel, right? It makes you feel safe to be who you truly are, versus having this persona that can often come up when you're, you know, in a, like, for me, like, in a different situation. Like, I have my work persona, quote unquote. I'm at the job that I used to work at, where there's this, I needed to have this sort of, like, it was still me, but there was, like, elements that were turned up, and you know what I mean? I was super reactionary to different, whereas, like, if you have just a conversation, you know, in this line of work, like talking about recovery and addiction, man, you can just feel the calmness coming. And I was talking to Jojo, he's on Instagram. It was my interview earlier today, and we were kind of sharing that, is like, as soon as you hear somebody say something, it kind of adds a bit of humor to it too, because you're up in your head and you're like, man, I'm such a piece of shit. And then somebody else says it and you're like, oh, you did that too. And then it's like a permission to be like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny now, you know, like, I don't know, it's just a good release, right? So
yeah, definitely.
Dude, what was your like, everybody has sort of a nuanced kind of like different recipe for recovery, whether it's like meetings or, you know, like you said, you go into the gym. What does that look like for you? What are your, like, key ingredients that keep you on that path of recovery? What does that look like for you?
So the first 18 months of my sobriety, all I did was exercise. I didn't go to meetings. I didn't even think about it. You know what I mean? But after the 18 months, I felt like I felt stale. I felt like I was sitting still. You know what I mean? I felt like I was sober, but I wasn't recovering. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was sober, but I wasn't really recovering from my addiction, from my problem, right? I didn't have anything else other than just me being sober.
Gotcha.
You know, I didn't have a sober crew. I had my sober crew on Instagram, but I really didn't have any, like, sober crew. You know what I mean? Like, real people. Go give them the fist bump. You know, like, yeah, dude, that's awesome. You're fucking 9 months sober. You're 9 days sober. That's awesome, bro. You know, I can say that on Instagram, but to do it in real life, you know, it's so much better. So yeah, I guess the first 18 months was great. I just exercised and I just I self-cared. I worried about me more. I was very selfish in the first 18 months of my sobriety. I was selfish. I worried about me. I took care of me. Number one was me, because I was, like I said, since I've been 16, say, I was highly active in addiction since I've been 16. And so I started drinking when I was 12, 11, whatever it was. But that was like, have a beer with the old man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I was 16, I was highly addicting. Like I was highly in my highly addicting time. Like it was just keep going. But yeah, so I had a lot of work to do, I guess is what I was saying. What I'm saying is I had a lot of work to do on me before I could worry about helping anybody else. So
what have you been doing to work on you? What does that look like? Is it books, podcast? Is it counseling? What have you done to sort of alleviate? I totally resonate with what you're saying. It's like, it's one thing to remain sober, but it's also, you got to remember like why you were doing this behavior in the first place. And I imagine that's what you're trying to identify, or you have been trying to identify. So what did that look like? What were your steps towards that healing?
So I listened to a lot of podcasts, like a lot of podcasts. And my favorite one was actually Recover Out Loud, I do believe.
Okay. I've heard of that one. Yeah, that one's good.
Those guys are pretty cool dudes. And it's so funny, man. There's 3 of them. And it's so funny. Like there's no filter in this podcast. So
nice.
It's really good.
Okay. I'll check it out.
What is it called? A sober, not so anonymous.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's what it's called. But yeah, it's super cool, man. I'll actually send you the link when we're done. Yeah,
please do. Yeah. I'd love to check it out.
It's really funny. Sometimes I'm laying in bed and the wife's laying beside me, and I got my earbuds in,
just chuckling,
start cracking up because it's funny because I've been there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're actually saying it, and they're laughing at each other while they're saying it, because all of us that are listening and all of them that are there have all been in the same spot. So so I did a lot of podcasts. I listened to a lot of podcasts. This is actually my first podcast that I've done.
Oh, no way. Cool.
Yeah.
That's
but
awesome.
Podcasts, and I exercise.
I was going to ask you, so with the exercise there, and of course, work. Work. So with the exercise there, have you been able to like heal your back now that the drugs, the alcohol are gone, you're working out? Yeah. So you're able to do like a back workout or stretching, I would assume would probably have come in handy and that sort of thing. So would you safe to say you're like the best shape you've ever been in your life at this point? Dude, it's amazing. That's so cool.
And I feel great, man.
Yeah, that's great.
Like I feel amazing. Every single day I wake up in the morning, I'm like, it feels great to be alive.
Yeah. And that's a great feeling, dude. That's so cool, man. That's awesome. Anything else? How is your, this is always a good question, I find, for folks that have, in sobriety, specifically for alcohol. Are you still finding drinks to be very rewarding? Do you have like a alcohol-free, like a near beer or anything like that? Just water? Like what is that? Look at this guy. Oh, Diet Pepsi. Oh, pardon me. Cherry Diet Pepsi. All about that, eh? Okay.
Or I'll take one of these.
Oh, those are sick, man. Those are really good. I like
like 1 or 2 a week.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They're so loaded with sugar, dude.
They have a whack load of sugar. Wowzers. They have that one they have like an orange one too, don't they?
Yeah, they have a mango. Have a tangerine or a mandarin. Sorry, mandarin.
I think that's the one I like, is the mandarin. See, I'm all about like the bubbly waters now. Like, it's gonna like green screen on.
I actually started on those. That's what I started on, was bubbly.
Bubbly. See, and then I'm going to ask you about camping too, man. Because camping for me, like, because I was always just getting shittered when I go camping, right? It's like at least a flat of beer. And then the first time I went camping with that, I was just like sitting there. I'm like, it's kind of boring. You just like sit here and stare at the trees. It was. How was that for you? Did you have a kind of a similar experience?
I haven't been camping since I quit due to COVID, number one.
Sure. Yeah.
And this is really the first summer that we're gonna actually get out. We sold it right at the beginning of COVID. So
did you? Yeah.
Yeah. Like sell the camper, get rid of it. Yeah. We bought an RV
Oh, very nice.
like one of them driving ones.
Yeah, man, we've always wanted to get that. That's like our fantasy, like the Winnebago, like, but like a newer version, I'm sure, right? Yeah.
No, we got the old
Oh, did you?
1986.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Do you still have it, or is that the one you sold?
Yeah.
Oh, you have
No,
it. Oh, rad.
yeah.
I gotta see this thing. I gotta see this thing in action.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's a Dodge Empress. It's
yes.
26 foot.
Yes.
And we completely gutted the whole thing.
No way.
Right. The sticks on the walls.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
Out, everything out, gone. New plumbing, new electrical, new bedroom, new bathroom. Wow. Like, we totally renovated. We made it our own. Like new bathroom, new kitchen. Everything is our own.
I gotta see this thing. I gotta see this thing at some point. So that's the one that's down in Leduc, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have it down. Okay, I gotta see this thing one day. That sounds amazing. But it's honestly, like, now it's like anything else, you redefine it, right? So like the camping was just like, it was a little too still for me, because I like to get in like kind of reckless and, having this massive fire and, doing stupid stuff. But now I've redefined it. I'm like, it's calm. It's nice being out in nature. So that's cool. So yeah. But like you're saying, like with COVID, it was like everybody started camping, because that was kind of like the go around for like not gathering. You can like gather outside. So man, the camping seasons, the last 2 runs have just been crazy. Like everybody goes outside now. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it is this year. So yeah, you guys are hoping to get out this year, are you?
We're hoping to get out and do a little camping.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, we don't know yet for sure. I don't even know what's going on this summer with work. I could be here still.
Right.
My boss said that I'd be here when I first got here, when she called me up and she's like, yo, I want you to come down here. My boss first called me and was like, hey, I need you to go to the States. And I said, yeah, not a fucking chance, bud.
Look at you now, eh?
Yeah. Like the owner of the company, well, not the owner of the company, but like the CEO or whatever of the company that he works for, called me up and was like, yo, I need you to come down here. I will pay you this much money. And I'm like, give me 5 minutes. I got to call my wife.
Yeah. Change it. Yeah.
So in 6 minutes, I was on my way to the States.
There we go. Yeah. Money talks at the end of the day, right? Helps you and your family get ahead. So
yeah. And it was only supposed to be 2 months.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I've been out here for almost a year now.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, you still got like 4 years worth of work out here for you,
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, man.
So you theoretically could be out there another 4 years, but what that does is really sets you guys up, you and your family, for later on. So yeah, interesting.
So here's another good one for my sobriety as well. So at the beginning of August last year, I came out here, right? We were renting forever because I was an alcoholic and we couldn't save any money, right?
Right.
So a year into my sobriety, year and a bit, August, we fucking bought a house.
Nice, buddy. Congrats. That feels good, I'm sure.
Oh man, amazing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Now we own our house. Well, not own it, but we're gonna own it soon.
Gonna own it. Yeah.
We're gonna own it soon. And that's what we're just dumping the money right at the house.
That's what that's a smart thing to do, because that's what Darcy and I were doing for the longest time.
So we can just pound it off as fast as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're trying to get that paid off as much as possible. And we want to own it. And then what we're gonna do is complete reno the whole outside of it.
Nice.
And make a passive house. Make it a passive house. So like the new version of housing, but it'll be the first passive house in Alberta.
No way.
Yeah.
And so what is it? What exactly is a passive house? Like what does that entail?
Air barrier insulated from the outside in.
Okay.
So there'll be so when you put the test on the door for suction and see if it's drawing air, see if you're losing air from somewhere, if there's holes or what.
Okay.
And so when you're like in the wintertime and you put your hand up by the window and you're Yeah, dude, I feel that draft coming in
Yeah.
between.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that won't be there anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're getting all new windows, doors, all new insulation on the outside, all new siding, new roof, new insulation in the attic. Yeah. So we're gonna do the first passive house in Alberta, and I'm gonna videotape the whole thing, and I'm gonna put it on Instagram, and I'm gonna put it on YouTube.
Wicked.
And hopefully people reach out and we get some donations of like building materials and whatnot too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To keep going with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a really cool idea. I like that.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. So there you go. Like, it's amazing, right? That you have like these, future plans. Like you got like a 2-year, a 5-year plan. Like it's got to be an amazing feeling that you can, whereas compared to before it would be, week to week, day to day, month to month at the most. Right. So it's, man, that's gotta be a great feeling.
Yeah,
so
it is great.
Awesome, man.
Super. I love it.
What is, as we kind of wind down here, what would be like if somebody's coming to you and it's just like, they're in their early sobriety, they got like 9 or 10 days and they're just listening to your story, and it's inspiring them in some way. What would be like, what's a good piece of advice you can kind of lead them with as far as, you're only at 9 days now, man, but like, what, fill in the blank. I'll let you finish the sentence, the thought.
Yeah, if you're at 9 days now, it's only gets better. It really does. Honestly, it really does. Keep doing it, man, because it's worth it. If you have a dream, it will come true. But if you keep drinking, that ain't happening. Promise you that.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. Love it. John, thank you so much for coming on the show today. We'll keep in touch for sure. I want to continue, we'll have you on sort of systematically throughout the year. Check in on you, especially if you got this thing going on at the house. There's going to be a lot of interesting stuff going on with you. So thank you so much for your time tonight, man. Really great to get to know you. And it's cool that you're just down the road. So when you are back in Canada, when you're back in the area here, especially when you got that badass RV out on the road, you gotta reach out to me and we'll hook up for sure.
Definitely, for sure.
Awesome, buddy. Well, thanks for your time tonight, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.